You need to have a driver's license to drive. You can have a dog license to have a dog, but why don't we have some kind of formality to have maybe a license to have to raise children?
My challenge has been with my teenage son.
You can't start guiding your kids when they're 17 years old and belligerent, talking back, and you can't do anything with them.
Should you encourage him to play?
Is your child daydreaming?
Should I just play along with her?
Is it possible for him to do both?
Was there ever anything in your head that stopped you that made you say, I wonder if I can do this,
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Find out. I'm Shirley Smith, and this is Talk About Parenting. And today we're talking about the environment that you need to provide your children that helps them to be creative.
We're going to talk about the crazy stuff going on campuses between Mexican and black students. And I'm going to raise the question as to what must their mamas and their papas not be telling them at home that would allow these students to clash over race.
We're talking with our guest in the newsmaker category.
I'm going to talk about adoptions.
California State Assemblyman Jack Scott is here to talk about his parenting philosophy. We'll find out if he thinks the children.
What is a good parent? Think you have to spend time with your kids, not just when they're little, but on through the ages. Spend time with your kids doing things that will enhance their growth and help them to become reasonable and respectable persons in our society.
What is it that our children are gaining when an adult reads to them?
What I'm looking for in our situation is to really have pleasure in the reading experience. And we call that a shared reading experience.
Your family found that you were writing. Mm-hmm. Was there anything that they did with that, or what did you do with your writings?
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that I think might have really helped get me going in the writing long before I wrote. My mother read to me, and I think that was especially nice because...
So when I say spend time with your kids, I don't mean smoking pot with them. I mean doing things, the library, the museum, just having fun, playing hopscotch, remember that one? Jump rope, reading books, just hanging.
Both my parents worked. And in the black community, I don't know about the Hispanic community, but certainly in the black community, parents worked. My mother was a domestic. She stayed on the place. But that did not lessen her oversight, because what we had was not just our parents' oversight, but the whole community. Across the town, everybody has just been really very devastated by the tragedy of this 4-year-old at this time of night coming down this sloping driveway out into Fair Oaks and meeting death when the MTA bus hit her. We recognize that the bus driver is not someone who was negligent. He was doing his route. We don't find this to be a black issue, a white issue. We don't find this to be a poor issue or a wealthy issue. What we recognize is the need to come together and understand that parents have a huge responsibility.
What are some of the advice that you would have to parents who are probably watching us today and saying, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to guide my kids if I'm not around?
Well, first of all, you have to have consistency. And you can't start guiding your kids when they're 17 years old and belligerent, talking back, and you can't do anything with them. You begin guiding your children when they're born. You begin when they're toddlers. You have a value system, and you begin to raise your children by that. You cannot grab it when they're 17 and you say, oh my God, what have I got here? And remember, hug your kids 3 times every time you see them, but give them what for? every time they need it. I'm Shirley Smith. This has been Talk About Parenting.